Mike is a very ambitious young man. He dreams of living the type of life he sees influencers showing him all year round on Instagram. A life of true freedom and abundance. He wants to build a thriving online business, get in shape, and find the love of his life. Every day, Mike works a dead-end job that he hates. One day, he's finally sick and tired of his situation, so he decides to take back control over his life. But when Mike opens up his laptop to work on his business idea, he starts to have those thoughts in the back of his head, telling him that, oh, it's okay, he can work later. Instead, he could just go on his favorite dirty website and have some fun. After all, he's earned it. Come on, Mike, you know better than that. But oh, it's too late. Mike is already on OnlyFans. Chances are, if you did relate to that short story, you share many similarities with Mike. In fact, maybe the scenario I just described happens every day to you. You're ambitious, you have big goals and big dreams, but for some reason, there is this dark force pulling you back, preventing you from making any progress. If we haven't met before, my name is Fred, and just a couple years ago, I was completely broke, depressed, and I hated my life. I struggled with many vices and many addictions at the time. I was honestly hopeless. Fast forward to today, I run a profitable online business. I pick my own schedule. I inspire thousands of people from all over the world, and I'm living a life I never thought I could live. And that's exactly why in this video, I want to share with you not only how porn is destroying your life, but also a step-by-step guide that you can apply literally starting right now to stop consuming it once and for all. Section 1. Dopamine overload, soul depletion. You know, there is an entire industry profiting from your addiction and your helplessness. They make millions, even billions of dollars while you waste your most precious energy on pixels on a screen instead of doing it with somebody who you truly love. I mean, some girls are making millions of dollars every month because some people are paying their OnlyFans. They're making more money than doctors and surgeons. Countless studies have shown that people who consume porn on a regular basis have a much lower life satisfaction than people who don't consume any. It also leads to self-image issues because what you see in porn is not the norm. Everything is fabricated. Understand this, the bodies that you see are specifically chosen for their abnormal looks because they stand out. Watching porn really acts as a drug. Whether it be sugar, cocaine, heroin, or even porn. The more you consume a certain drug, the more you'll need to consume. So the bigger the dose you'll need to consume to feel the same effects as you first did. Because now you become more and more tolerant to that substance. That is why typically when people watch porn, they need to watch increasingly more and more extreme stuff to get off. And the issue is that now when you're in the bedroom, it's time to do your thing with someone, you're not even able to get turned on because you're so used to seeing things that is completely out of the ordinary. That's how some people develop some really messed up kinks. But not only that, watching porn completely kills your drive, your ambition, and your ability to do the hard things that you need to do to become successful. Out of all of the things that can give us dopamine, one of the things that will give you the most dopamine is procreation. It's nature's way of making sure we're going to do it and perpetuate the species. But after you watch porn and you do your thing, tell me, do you feel like hitting the gym? Do you feel like sitting at your computer and doing some work? Of course not. Now you're all lethargic and you just feel like eating some sugar, some junk food, and going and watching Netflix. You feel like sleeping. You don't feel like actually doing something productive with your time. You don't feel like conquering the world. Because when you get that release, you're tricking your body into thinking that you're a successful man. That because you have accomplished so much, the ultimate goal of nature, which is to procreate, now you can relax, have fun. It's like when you play video games. In a video game, you could be a respected war general, when in reality, in the real world, you're a nobody. Section 2. You're cuckolding yourself, bro. Watching porn is inevitably going to lead to many intimacy issues. Realize this, you're watching something in third person on a screen. You're finding the most exciting clips. You're looking at what you want to see specifically. If you want to only see certain body parts, you can isolate them and focus on that. If you want to see certain acts, you can only focus on that. But the worst thing is that you're watching people doing the thing in third person instead of doing it yourself. And even if you watch some kind of first person porn, you're still looking at someone else doing the thing with someone else. It's not you. You're literally programming your brain to become a voyeur, to become aroused by watching other people do that stuff. So yes, in a way you are cuckolding yourself. But not only that, consuming pornography completely destroys your ability to form bonds with other people. And that's especially true in your romantic life. Plenty of guys develop some kind of social anxiety because they constantly watch so much porn that they're depleted of all energy. They don't feel good about themselves. They feel self-conscious. So now they can't even shake somebody else's hand. They're too shy to talk to people. And let's not even talk about talking to a girl that they like. They can't do that now. But not only that, consuming porn is going to take away so much time and so much energy that you could instead channel into reaching your goals. I'll tell you a story. Beethoven, one of the greatest musical composers of all times, he was known to be very lonely. He was also known to have this imaginary lover. He composed music to honor that imaginary lover. Women didn't necessarily like him, he was short, he wasn't necessarily that attractive, and he suffered a lot in his romantic life. But guess what? He's one of the greatest composers we have ever known. There's a reason why he's so famous, so popular. He has created masterpieces. It's only because of all that pain, all that energy that he wasn't able to express in other ways, that he channeled it into creating a masterpiece. Honestly, in life, we are all going to have advantages and also disadvantages compared to other people. But if there's one thing I've learned, it's that in life what matters most is your perspective, not actually what happens. Let's say you have a terrible childhood. You can't go back in the past and change it. Your childhood is always going to be the same, no matter whether you're 20 or 50 or 80. It's done. However, the way that you perceive your childhood, the meaning that you attach to it, it can change. You get to control that aspect. For someone, having had a terrible childhood is the reason why they're not successful, why they can't form relationships with other people, why they can't build a thriving business or have a fulfilling career. It's because of their childhood. It damaged them and now they're broken and they can't be repaired. But for someone else, they are going to use that terrible childhood as fuel to work harder, because they think, if I had this terrible past, now I deserve better. If I was able to go through all of this, I can go through anything. It's like the story of the two twin brothers. Two twin brothers grew up with an abusive, alcoholic father. Years later in the future, they have two very different lives. One of the two twins is a very successful businessman. He has a loving and caring partner, and he loves his life. He's accomplished a lot of things. He's respected by his peers, and he's pretty happy. While the other twin is miserable. He's broke, he's in debt, he's an alcoholic himself, and he hates his life. One day, a reporter decides to interview the two brothers. First, she goes to see the first twin, the successful one. She asks him, what allowed you to accomplish so much? He replies, I watched my father. Then, she goes on to meet the other twin, the less successful one, and she asks him, how did you end up like that? He replies, I watched my father. So as you can see, the two twins lived the same situation. They had the same childhood. Yet, because they gave it a different meaning, they went on to accomplish completely different things. So what are you going to choose? Are you going to choose to play the victim, to blame your circumstances? The path to success is hard, and you know it. Otherwise, you would have clicked off this video and you would have gone on and watched some TikTok BS. If you're still here, it's because you want better things out of life. Section 3. The most powerful source of energy. So understand this. Sexual energy is the most powerful energy source that you can store in your body. So if you are constantly wasting it on pixels on a screen, you're not even building relationships or bonds with people. But instead, all that energy that you could be putting into reaching your goals, getting in shape, studying better, getting a better job, now that energy is wasted. Sexual transmutation is insanely powerful. Like we've seen it with Beethoven and with many other successful people, it can allow you to achieve incredible things and to be remembered forever in the books of history. Now, how do you quit for good? The first thing is that you want to remove all soft porn triggers, because there's obvious porn. When you go on the dirty websites, you see those videos. Okay, that's porn. But many people are unaware that soft porn is literally everywhere, especially on the internet and on social media. You want to unfollow all of those so-called fitness girls who in reality just want to show off their body. Delete TikTok off your phone. Stop looking at all of those girls doing their dances. And in fact, you should go as far as deleting all social media apps from your phone. Trust me, it is only going to improve your life. Countless scientific studies have shown time and time again that people who consume more social media are more depressed and have a lower life satisfaction in general than people who don't. Does that sound familiar? Because it's the same effects found in people consuming porn. But plenty of people who consume social media consume soft porn. I mean, the other day somebody sent me something on Instagram, and I kid you not, that stuff was literally something that could have been on OnlyFans. That really goes to show you the stuff that is on social media is damaging your brain. You need to be very careful about what you put inside of your mind. Most people know that what they put inside of their bodies, what they eat, matters. They need to have the right diet. But most people don't think about their mental diet. They don't think about what they consume, as in the information that they read, that they watch, that they see, that they hear. But it matters just as much, if not more, than the diet that you feed your body. Because your thoughts will determine your actions and your emotions, which will in turn determine what you get to experience in your life. If you don't believe in yourself, if you hate yourself, you won't take risks. You won't say yes to the opportunities that will come on your path, because you'll believe that you're not good enough, that you can't do it. So you won't even start, you won't even try, and all your dreams will go down the toilets. Now, to really be able to quit once and for all, you need to find an extremely deep reason why you want to quit. It's kind of like when you want to start a business. Of course, you want the luxury, you want the vacations, you want the expensive cars. That's great. However, I invite you to have also deeper reasons as to why you're doing things. Because when you're a bit sick, you're a bit tired, you're feeling a bit lazy, you're not going to want to put in the work if it's just for a car. However, if it's to provide for your future family, if it's to have freedom, to never have to be yelled at by your boss ever again, then that is a deep reason that will help you to overcome those negative emotions and get to work anywhere, even if it's the last thing that you feel like doing in the entire world. Honestly, the best way to have a deep, powerful powerful why is to link that why to more than just you, to another person. Because think about this, when you're in love, it makes you completely irrational. You would do anything for the person that you love, sometimes even to your own detriment. And that's especially true when sometimes people do crazy things for the person that they love when those feelings are not even reciprocated. Because if your reason for doing things involves the person that you love, your family, now you'll feel like you're letting them down if you let yourself down. We often let ourselves down, but we would do so much more for the people that we love. So why not take advantage of it to reach your goals? Now you need to understand that relapses will happen. Let me tell you this, if you go from consuming porn every day to consuming it once every 6 months, most people would call that a failure, but that is massive progress. Don't listen to the nofap guys who will say you failed. It is massive progress. You went from doing it once a day to doing it once every 6 months. You'll save so much time, so much energy. You're allowed to be proud of yourself. Recovery is not necessarily a linear process. Everyone recovers differently. You have to be patient with yourself during this process. It might not happen overnight. You will have relapses, trust me. I'm not saying that you should pat yourself on the back whenever you have one. You should try to minimize them as much as possible. But if you do relapse, what should you do? Just get back up as quickly as possible. That's literally it. There is no magic trick or magic secret. So I really hope that with this video, you understood how porn is completely destroying your life. And I really hope that by now, if you're struggling with this problem, you'll take concrete action to freeing yourself of this addiction.